It's this weird phenomena that people think that like the higher up you go, the more you make it, the more you have, like the pressures are going to come off of you. And it's not like those ones will. Here's what they don't understand is that those problems, certainly you're not going to be worried about paying the mortgage. You're not going to be worried about, the stress of finance and whatever problems you have at that. But as you level up, whole new problems start to show up, ones you never even expected. And then, the complexity and the volume of them change. And so we're like, is it a real stress that you have to make this paycheck to pay the rent payment? Yeah, of course it is. But it's not that complex. You work, you make the money, you pay the bill, right? Up here, the problems are like Rubik's Cubes. And there's a lot of them, and they're coming at you in high velocity. And so you're constantly just bah, 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 bah. And so your ability to manage the stress of it all, but also you have to develop callus. You have to develop a leather skin, or otherwise you're just gonna live in a constant state of misery because the problems aren't gonna stop. And so you have to make it a working part of your mind and spirit that you can separate from all of these issues and live your life. It's like you look at CEOs of major companies, right? And dude, they'll have an automotive company will have a major recall because the brake line went in one type of car and families are crashing and dying, and he still makes his dinner reservations. Do you know what I mean? You're the president of a country going to war, and you go home to your family. As you think about it, I look at mine and I'm like, God, I got a lot of problems. And there are so many people that's so much bigger than me that it's just like, holy. So being able to turn your energy, right? Because you have to, when you're at war, you have to show up as a warrior. And so I got to put that warrior mask, that uniform on. And the reason I'm a good warrior is because when I go to war, I don't plan on coming home. Right? I'm coming with everything that I got. And so you got to get in that psyche of, yeah. And that's from 9 to 10. And then at 10:30, we're going to shoot content. It's like, fuck. How do you pivot? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I come down and I'm like, whoo. All right, Jay and Robin are nice guys. They have nothing to do with anything that I had going on. We're about to make some positive content and influence the world. You know what I mean? Fucking, yeah. I think it's just I think it's an equal spread of intensity, right? Dude, you look at my life and I can make a highlight reel that I live in a way that 99.999% of people will never even imagine, right? Hard to wrap their mind around. But at the same time, they can't even comprehend the amount of stress, pressure, problems. And I've gotten good at it. But as you're growing, we're growing like crazy over here in many different respects. It's new levels, new devils type of thing. You know what I mean? And so new stuff is constantly presenting itself. And one thing is that they say money changed you, right? People might say money changed you. Oh, money changed you. Listen, I still feel like the same guy I've felt like my entire life. If anything, the only thing that I notice the difference of is the personal development work that I've done. I'm more peaceful, I'm more fit, I'm more, my actions, my behaviors, my routines, my disciplines, all of it. But money didn't influence that. The work of personal development influenced all of that. Money changed the people around me. And as you go up this thing, it just where someone, you can look at them and you go, at this point in my life, me and you probably would have had a lot in common and we probably would have been really close friends. But because you perceive me as up here, or your perception of me is whatever, is X, it has completely ruined the opportunity for us to have an authentic relationship. And then comes the backstabbing, the jealousy, all of this stuff. And so that is something that you're gonna have to get used to if you're gonna make it. You know what it's like? I gave this analogy to a friend the other day. It's like if you're just a dude, just a regular dude, and you walk into a room with 1,000 dudes, right? Big ballroom, big event. People might look because the door open, they look at you, it's just Eric. But if you walk into that room and you're a beautiful woman, beautiful, like a 10, everybody fucking snaps, looks, and immediately wants something from you. Immediately. That is not much different than when you have success, wealth, attention, notoriety, fame. Like, think about that girl in that room. They're either thinking about it or trying. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're either, yeah. The guy comes up and he's like, hi, how are you? And if you really put that through like the man translator, he'd be like, hi, would you like some dick? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you like some? I have plenty. Like, do you know? And so it's the same thing in interactions. And it's exhausting, dude. It just beats you down. And so they talk about like this 1% thing. Like, oh, the 1%, you know, whatever, the 0.01% or the 0.01% of the 1%. And it's like, dude, we don't. You guys made it uncomfortable for us. I still feel the same. But I walked in the room and all you guys tried to me. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, I wouldn't want to be here either, you know? And so it's just dealing with all of that. And then when you're in business, what happens? People try to you end up in litigation, you end up in problems, there's interpersonal stuff, it's fights over money, it's just like, god damn. And it's hard to keep up a positive outlook because people just at a high volume are very disappointing. But the ones that can manage that, and the ones that are, I don't know if manage is the right word, but the people that can maintain authenticity around high level people are actually the ones that will and be able to grow through the levels and get accepted into that world. Like, if you show up around high level people and you don't have to say a thing, you don't have to ask for anything. Trust me, we've been doing this for a while, we're in tune. And if you show up with that, like, I want to you energy, right? Like, I need something from you, I want something from you, I can get something from you, we're immediately like, get this guy away from me. Bah! You put them in 1,000 dudes that are trying to me when I walked into that room. If you show up and they show up real, it's more rare than you would think. Those are the ones that you actually want to help. You actually want to have around and enjoy those relationships. Crazy. More money, more problems. Biggie Smalls. What's up?